Lewis Dunk is gonna do everything in his power to repay that faith.
You never know, it might have been a slam dunk decision.
And this is the Slam Podcast. Right, lads, we're back. The Slam Podcast is back. It's been a whole season, probably over a year. We're now online because Ollie's pissed off down south, but we've made it happen. So a little Euro special.
Yes, yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah,
got to get back in the groove, boys. It's been a while since we've done this. A bit rusty.
We do. Yeah. We owe it to the fans,
the many fans.
The Slam
Adam Johnson.
Yeah, right, should we get straight into it then?
Yeah, do it. What? So we've all put together a little prediction, haven't we? Group by group.
Yeah.
So Ollie, I don't know if you're the man for Group A, apparently.
Well, man for Group A, but I feel like why not just start with the I'm going to say probable winners.
Oh, big words.
They are not quite home nation, but it's Germany, so we're kind of at home there anyway.
Yeah.
At least our captain is, and Jude is as well, the star boy. He's pretty at home there, so I don't know. I'm feeling less optimistic than I was a week ago. But
as the Iceland game, do you think that actually matters anything?
I mean, it's not what you want, is it? Like, realistically, you'd want to be going into a tournament in good form. You don't want to be going into a 1-0 down.
Yeah, definitely. But then I think the other way you can look at it is to kick up the arse, isn't it? You'd rather have that loss now than the first group game. It's out your system. You fucked up. Like, let's crack on now, kind of thing.
I mean, that's the attitude, but whether they put it into practice like that, it's another thing.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Matt. I think it could almost be a blessing in disguise. I think it takes everyone down a peg or two, and I think it just takes a little bit of pressure off. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. If you're gonna have a bad game or a bad thing, do it just before the tournament. And then hopefully he's worked out a few things.
I think with the other things of those friendlies is we looked so flat. Like when Trent came on against Iceland, we looked a lot better. We looked a lot better. Cole had some decent options, but couldn't really do too much. But I think we're really missing that Bellingham in the middle of the park just to kind of ease everyone down. He's got that aura that very few players in this team have. And I think he'll be a vital part. And I think we missed him.
That's the other thing. In just winning the Champions League, obviously, he's been on holiday, hasn't he? So, like, he's going to be the big player in the team. Like, he's going to go straight. He's going to walk into the starting 11. So it's hard to judge the friendly when it isn't. I know it's only one player, but like when it's not your full team, if you know what I mean. Because realistically, the forward line's going to revolve around him. I think
he's going to be dictating a lot, especially with the possibility the Ballon d'Or still there for him. If that's something he wants, this tournament's going to be massive for it. Because the winner of the Ballon d'Or is going to be decided in the Copa America or the Euros.
It's one of them. Like, I think it is, but I don't know about if it's just me, but I have no interest in the Ballon d'Or whatsoever.
Yeah, I think you're not on the short list though. Jude Bellingham is on the fucking short list.
I think Jude Bellingham is walking out in this Euros with an England shirt on, thinking, "If I win this, I'm winning the Ballon d'Or." I think he's thinking, "I'm going to win a tournament with England." I don't think that's gonna. Maybe it is.
I think it's hotel room. If I win this, I'm down as one of the greatest of all times at like 21. I mean, kind of already is if you're Arthur Madristas, but that was
I don't know if it's on his mind. Who knows? We'd have to ask him. But
get him on.
Yeah, well, he let us down this week. Maybe next week. But yeah,
he said he was busy some in Germany or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so what are you thinking in terms of the lineup? Because obviously, I thought it was pretty set, and then obviously, I think Cole Palmer coming in. And obviously the whole Trent midfield thing, and obviously the injuries at the back. I think it's looking like we could have completely different teams from like 3 weeks ago, probably having the same.
Yeah. I think a lot of the sort of the initial optimism and excitement about England going to this tournament almost dissolved when he finalised the squad.
Yeah,
I think, and I think going into it for me, the starting lineup is. Like later in this episode, we're going to speak about France. We're going to speak about Germany and other teams. And I feel like between us collectively, we're more certain about their starting lineups than we are England.
Oh yeah,
and that's
I don't know about that.
The tournament, like our back line again. Do you know?
yeah, no, yeah. I think the defense is where it's completely up in the air at the minute. You know, there's arguably a midfield spot. I think the front three will be Saka, Kane, Foden. I think that will be the front three. I think
Seems to be his favourite front three.
Yeah,
and I think we also do know what the back four is going to look like, whether we like it or not. Maybe we're not sure who's going to be at right back, but it's probably going to be Walker.
Yeah.
Probably going to be Trippier at left back because Shaw's unlikely to be fit.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to have Duncan Stones at the back.
Do you think it'll be Dunk?
Looking like Dunk.
I think he'll go with Dunk. Yeah, I think he's that Harry Maguire silhouette kind of big guy at the back.
Like his Italian brother. Yeah.
Job, mate. You know what I mean? He likes it. He likes it.
While we're on the Dunk topic, I think that's been the major headline, isn't it? That some of the players he's left out in that position with Branthwaite. Obviously, Maguire's injured, but for me, Dunk over Branthwaite is just mad. I think it's hard because I think if you're Lewis Dunk and you've read all of the discourse in the last 2 weeks about you being in that England squad, that's got to be it's got to kill your confidence, hasn't it? But then the other side of it is that managers backed him. But for me, if you're Jared Branthwaite, he's been fantastic for Everton all season. And I just like what else could he have done? Like Lewis Dunk for me is a solid Premier League centre back. He's a Premier League captain. He's well experienced, but he looked way out his depth in an England shirt when we played Brazil and Belgium.
Yeah,
I think it's tough to say because I think it would be difficult to justify starting Stones and Branthwaite because they are quite similar players. They are very similar builds, very similar assets. I mean, Stones is obviously a lot more experience, but if you had that Stones-Maguire partnership in your head, if you lose Maguire, you don't suddenly turn to John Stones 0.2. You kind of look for that Maguire replacement. I think Dunk is more that. So I think that's why Southgate's gone with it because it kind of fits his system a bit more.
Yeah, I can see that logic, to be fair. That does make sense, but it just doesn't fill me with confidence, can't lie.
At all, does it? I just think when Kylian Mbappe is running at him in an inevitable...
It's calm. We'll put Walker at centre back. He can just follow him around.
What we thinking for midfield? Sorry, like obviously, I think Rice and Bellingham obviously certain to start.
Well, it's broke today, hasn't it? That loads of different outlets are saying that Trent is starting the first game.
Yeah,
and I'm having that because I like Ollie's already mentioned it. Like his creativity once he's come on, and the chances when it's looked flat. So for me, Rice is
going to have to do a lot of work in that midfield, especially with the back four looking the way it is. He's going to have to work his fucking socks off. Like if England win this tournament, he'll probably end up being the player of the tournament because he's going to have to do a lot of leg work.
I think that's it. I think most England games, if we're flying, are going to be like 4-3, 2-1. I think it's just going to be you score 2, we'll score 3. I think that's the way they're going to have to do it because I've got no faith in not no faith because we've got like Kyle Walker and great players, and Stones. But I think we're going to concede a lot of goals.
Yeah. The thing with Trent, I think like if you're going to do it, you do it straight away. It's not something you bring in halfway through the tournament. I think you've either got to start with it or go a different way.
Yeah.
But I sort of it's looking like that's probably what he's going to do from what I've heard. So yeah, it'd be interesting. You know, it might work, it might not, but I'm up for the gamble.
I think we could do with some optimism, and I think talk about the attack is probably the best way to do that. It is a very unbalanced team, but that attack is glorious. Like Harry Kane just broken the record for most goals in Germany. Now going back to Germany with the national team, it's exciting, man. Especially with Foden having the season he's had, Bellingham the season he's had, Saka to the left, on the bench.
You've got in that front line, you've got the best player in Germany, the best player in France, and arguably the best player in England in Foden.
Who's the best player in France?
Yeah.
What more? Sorry, best player in Spain in Bellingham. You've got Kane, Bellingham, Foden. Like what more can you want, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then for me, that left side, someone's out of position, aren't they? And Anthony Gordon's not starting. It's as we think it's going to be Foden. It's one of them. Is there a spot for him as a 10?
I'd rather Foden in a 10, but I feel like Jude's got that, and I just don't see Gareth, after playing Foden on the wing like the last 2 years, I don't see him now suddenly putting him in the 10, even though that is what I would like.
Yeah, I think we'd all like to see like Bellingham maybe drop next to Rice and put Foden up there, but I agree. There's no chance he's going to do that. He's not done it yet, so he's not going to do it first game of the tournament.
And the finishing instinct dude is showing right now. You want him further forward, realistically.
Yeah,
I think you could see that in the Champions League final as well. For like most of that final, when Bellingham was deep, it was only at the end when he was given the freedom to start coming forward, where you can tell he loves to play, that he really made an impact for Madrid. And I think that's the one of them, either Bellingham or Foden, is going to be slightly somewhere they'd rather not be. That I think that's the problem, isn't it?
And I think at this point you have to make way for Jude, especially if Harry drops a little bit deep. Jude is used to kind of having to bomb forward in front of a striker like Hosselu. Yeah. Whereas Bellingham Foden is used to playing with Haaland, who loves to be in the box and loves to stand in that 6-yard area. Whereas Kane, they can be a bit more fluid, which I think is important for this England team with the talent it has.
Nice problem to have in it, definitely, compared to like tournaments. I mean, look at I think out of the people who haven't made the squad, look at like Maddison is unlucky simply because his position's so stacked.
Yeah, and he didn't set the size he had before he got injured as well.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like another year, he's a shoo-in. He's awesome. He's going. He's probably starting most games after the season he's had. But
yeah, no, there was a lot of. I found there's obviously always a lot of chat about the squad, but I always think, your starting 11 plays. I don't know how many minutes, probably like 90%, 80% of the minutes. These players that will he take, won't he take? There's such limited difference they can make anyway. That's probably not worth it.
Right out my mouth. That was my thing. Like, we all make. I think it's part of the fun, isn't it, to moan about who doesn't go and who does. But it's a 23-man squad, and as you've said, this isn't a season-long tournament. It's tournament football. It's like three and a bit weeks in it. So realistically, it's 15, maybe 16 players that win it. It's your starting 11 and maybe 3 or 4 subs that are actually going to play a key part. And if we're not talking about lads that come on for 15 minutes in your last group game when you're already 2-0 up just for a cap. But realistically, that's it. It's your starting 11. And if it's working, you're not going to be twisting and changing it massively.
No, definitely.
But I don't even see too much defensive or midfield backing coming off the bench. I mean, you got Kobe Mainoo, who I think has been brilliant, but I don't see him coming in to change a game. I mean, Shay, you've been watching him all season. Do you think he had that coming off the bench kind of impact to change?
I think possibly in maybe not change the game impact, but like to win you a game, to sort of like when you're winning 2-0, maybe you bring him on to keep the ball. I reckon I've seen him give the ball away a handful of times, and all the times I've watched him, he keeps the ball really well. But I know what you mean. He's not an impact player. He's not going to come on and suddenly create 3 or 4 chances. It's not his game. I think he's probably more likely, if you're going to play him, you start him. If not, you're going to look to another option probably.
Yeah, I think that it's Cole Palmer and Gordon off the bench, really, isn't it? Those are the two that you bring on to add that extra power to your front line in the 70th, 60th minute.
Yeah,
that's a huge substitution for us. Gordon off the bench on the left-hand side.
Because that's the one thing I think that attack might miss is just a little bit of pace. Like I know Saka and Foden can both, they're not slow, but just a proper like direct runner with a bit of pace, which obviously Gordon's got. Like I think it could play a key part, definitely.
So that's England. I know we'll do our full brackets after, but are they winning it, lads? Are they winning it?
Nah. Optimistic, man, but nah. We're not.
No, I think. Well, I've just done the bracket there. I've worked out if we top our group and France tops their group, we're going to meet in the semis, and it just has that feeling of they know how to get through those games and we don't.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
We all watched the quarterfinal.
Yeah, I can just see it being like the carbon copy of that. Just like play well, they just nick it. It has that feeling for me, but I'd love to be wrong. But
I think they're the games as well for England when it is a bit of a stalemate and we haven't won the game and it relies heavily on your tactics and what your manager's going to do. remember last time, I think we all collectively agreed that Southgate just gets taken for a ride by 90% of other national team managers. They just outclass him tactically, and that's what I mean. I think they know how to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're probably better off losing because if we win, we've got 4 more years of Southgate. So that's kind of.
If we lose, Shay's got 4 years of Southgate.
Yeah, fucking hell, yeah.
4 more years.
Oh, that's scary. We'll save that for the next pod, but that's a scary thought.
Definitely. Ollie, wrap Group A then. Obviously, Scotland in the Euros.
Mate, Scotland against the Krauts. Germany, first game Friday night. Whoop, whoop. Man, it's hard to look past Germany in this group, really, isn't it? With that double pivot of cams they've got with Wirtz and Musiala, and Nagelsmann has got them working perfectly with Havertz kind of doing some more of the nastier work, but that's what Kai's good at. He can kind of offer that to bring in players that are a bit more talented than he is. And I think they're going to be exciting, man. I think they are, especially with the way Nagelsmann has them playing. But it'll be interesting to see if Scotland can have any kind of impact. Because your boy Scott McTominay, Shay, he turns into a little bit of an R9 when he plays for Scotland. Stephen Clark knows how to get a tune out of that boy.
Yeah, he does. He's got a fantastic record, and yeah, I think he's a big part of if Scotland can get out of that group. I think McTominay is going to have to score 2 or 3 goals definitely. And
yeah. Him and John McGinn together, they've been tearing it up.
Have you got them down to get out of that group?
I think I have, but in 3rd place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because there's technicalities this year, boys. There's technicalities this year.
That's it, yeah. Top 4 3rd places with the highest amount of points, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit crap, that, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, like half the teams that get knocked out get to go through. It's weird.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's...
What's the script? Is it then goal difference for if you've got like 3 teams sat on the same amount of points? Obviously,
it must be.
Yeah, or goals scored, maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Stupid rule, but goals for that type of
thing. Yeah. I mean, we could have done the research for the podcast, really, couldn't we?
Could have, should have, probably. Yeah. Raw. It's raw, amateur. It's what the people want.
Yeah, I mean, you can barely see me, actually. I'm going to turn my lights on because you can barely see me.
Not even editing this out. Just
Oh, we're not, because then I've got we spoke about Man United's main man, not McTominay. What about the Hungarian scouser, Dominic Szoboszlai? Capable of putting that team in his back. That's why I've had to put Scotland in 3rd, because I think this Hungarian team are not to be sniffed at, man. I think they look good.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I think, everyone likes to say Turkey are the dark horses every year, but I think this year Hungary are the dark horses. They beat England not that long ago.
Yeah, they did. Historic win, man. Historic win for the Hungarians, man. And I was in Budapest this year, so I've got a little soft spot for them.
Oh yeah, I think I've got them. I don't know if we're going to spoil the bracket, so I think I've got them getting to the quarters. That's my big shout.
What, Hungary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Hungary going forward, but I think their DMs are going to be a bit of an issue for them. They've got a double pivot at DM. One plays in Serie B, and the other option is either from MTK Budapest or from Sunderland. And neither of those two really fill us with any hope there. So
I didn't know that before I made my prediction, but
the Buzz but they have got Golaski in goal, so he can probably put out a save or two. Keep them up.
Still at Leipzig.
Yeah, he's still at Leipzig. Yeah.
So you've got it. Germany, Hungary, Scotland, and then who else in that group?
Swiss, I believe.
I think I've gone
research 3 teams.
I think I've gone Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, Scotland.
Yeah, I think I went Germany, Hungary, Switzerland, Scotland. I put Scotland bottom. I would like them to get out. Like, I'm not one of these that, I don't hate them that much. You know what I mean? But
yeah. Do you guys know who Scotland were playing when England played Iceland the other day?
I know Anthony Robertson equaled the most games as Scotland captain record. I don't know who it was against though.
No, but I was watching it kind of. Well, someone was watching it, and I was sitting next to them. And Scotland were 2-0 up, and then they bring on Gordon in goal to kind of give him a little well done, nice career,
Yeah.
send off. You
And then
give him a penalty, and then he just completely wipes out the man to get a penalty after he's already just conceded a stupid goal, and Scotland drew 2-2 in the final result.
Oh god!
It was pretty funny if it wasn't so embarrassing.
So the defending champions are Italy, which seems mad because it does not feel like Italy are the current champions going into this whatsoever for some reason. Just feel like, considering they didn't even qualify for, was it the World Cup?
Yeah.
But yeah, Group B, I think they're not going to be anywhere near winning it again, in my opinion. You might disagree.
No, I haven't got them winning it.
I think as well, when you look at like the season like Atalanta have had, and players like Scamacca, who's probably going to lead the line for them. I mean, he boss against us as crap as we were when they knocked us out. And most of that national team have had great seasons domestically. Like Bastoni was massive for Inter in winning the league. And I think they'll be good, but I just think in terms of international
injuries at the back as well. No, Scalvini's just tore his ACL, so
that's it. Yeah, the partnership for Bastoni is up in the air at the minute. And I think, but that's it. I think in terms of experience, a bit like England, you've got players who are successful at club level, but international pedigree. There's, I know obviously Italy won the Euros a couple of years ago, but it's a completely different setup. New manager. Yeah. There's different players in every position. There's players that have broke out this year who are now in the squad. I just think, I don't think they're a dark horse. I just think that the semis, quarters. I mean, we'll do the brackets after. I have no idea where it's
a good result for Italy, I think. But they always seem to bring it out of the Euros. They always seem to find a way to get to those final four teams. Like they've been doing it since like 2000.
Yeah,
they got to the final 2000s. They got to the final in 21 when they won it. They got to the final in 2016 when they should have won it. Oh, in 2012, I don't think they won it.
You've got like the manager as well, Spalletti. He won the league with Napoli. He's used to being, we can take an underdog and run with it. So they've got a lot going for them, 100%. But for me, no. I think if they'd played a better team in the final last time, they wouldn't have won it. But again, I think Southgate was just tactically outclassed, and that's why they won.
Well, Chiellini as well tried to decapitate Saka. But, we're not bitter. It's fine. I'm over it.
Obviously, same group, Spain, Italy, and Spain.
Oh right, yeah.
Spain again. I think outside of your big two on paper, which are England and France this time round, I think Spain look really good.
I like Spain.
This tournament. Rodri is obviously one of the best players in the world. Definitely, probably, if not the best in his position. I think for me, again, I love the balance of youth to experience in the Spanish team. You've got players that have broke to, especially this season, like Lamine Yamal from Barcelona. If he gets caps in this tournament, he turns 17. I think it's the day before the final. So football and gods, if they're listening, what a storyline that would be.
Is he going to start? Is he actually going to start for them?
I think he's got a chance on the right hand side. I think it's Morata, isn't it? Really down the middle.
Morata or Joselu.
Or Joselu, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's got a chance on the right. But then the other thing is, I know if it was over here, would we really want a 16-year-old playing every game for us going into the Euros?
But the Spanish are different though. They like when their youth teams do well. They like when their youngsters play well. We don't. We chastise them as soon as they slip up. But
that's it, exactly. A big thing for Spain though, for me, and I think this is going to be telling of quite a few countries, is Laporte, obviously at centre half. He's now in Saudi, so he's not played at a top level for an extended period of time. And who partners him is up in the air as well. I think Nacho is going to be back in. But that point about Saudi, the amount of players obviously that went over there that are still that are big players in squads going into this tournament. Do you think that's going to have an impact across the Euros? Like these players that are big names that we're used to doing it in big games, but now they're just playing in Saudi, and all of a sudden you've got to rock up and play the Euros against players.
I think it can depend on the person. Like if they're a big game player and they're used to playing in a big game, but they've not been on the stage, they've been Saudi, but in those games, I feel like they can be quite similar to international games where it just takes one player to really step up and take over. And I think that could benefit them. What's interesting is you've got players like N'Golo Kante coming back, and he's been in Saudi. So it's really going to be interesting to see if he can keep going. Mitrovic is playing against England. It'd be interesting to see. So like Saudi is right through this tournament. So when they're playing against each other, they'll be playing Saudi players that are also playing in Saudi. So I don't know. I think it's going to be very personal down to the player. So how they have been keeping up. Have they actually been keeping up with football, or have they just been collecting a paycheck?
I mean, you could argue, these players, especially Premier League or any of the top leagues, really, they come into after a long whole big season, and they're almost like knackered. They're like they've had a grueling time. A lot of players played like 60 odd games, don't they? So maybe they'll come in fresh, ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But no Saudi players selected from the England setup.
Jordan Henderson, late return.
Yeah, I was surprised he wasn't in. I thought he'd be in the squad.
I think there was a riot in the streets if he'd been selected.
I'm quite happy he's not, because it's mean that you can give someone like Adam Wharton a chance. But
yeah,
then again,
he doesn't even play in Saudi. He plays in fucking Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, yeah. Is that one of Europe's top 5 leagues now? Or
nah, bro, I don't think so. Portugal is better, surely.
I think it is. I think Portugal is better than the Eredivisie, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I've got Spain to win that group. I've got Italy to sneak through behind them in second. But Croatia are also in the group with them.
Yeah, I've actually put Croatia above of Italy.
Same.
Really.
I think they've got that know-how in tournaments, and they've still got the spine of the team that have done so well for them in the last few tournaments. And they're hard to beat. They're really hard to beat.
They are. They're a real difficult side. I mean, ask any England fan; they know how difficult Croatia are to beat. And Luka Modric, even though he's touching 40, he doesn't. His game is all class. His game doesn't require him to be running around the pitch. His game, he can dictate. I mean, he can dictate the entire game without leaving a centre circle, pretty much. That's
he's massive, isn't he? I think. But the only reason I put Italy over Croatia is I think Modric's fitness, isn't it? Did he have a fractured toe or a fractured foot or something? He's on the bench in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
So it's whether he's top of his game. I think if Croatia want to go deep in this tournament, they need him top.
Yeah.
But again, horrible group.
Who's the last team?
Albania. Which again, to be fair, I think they could. They're not. I don't think they're going to get battered every game. But yeah, for me, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Albania. But yeah, Italy, Croatia, I'll have that definitely.
But Italy will probably go through either side. Italy or Croatia will probably end up going through on the third place.
Third place finish, yeah.
So Group C, which is that's England's group?
That is England's group, yeah. Along with Serbia, Denmark, who we beat in the semis last time in the Euros. I think Denmark are the most interesting team for me. But they've pretty much picked the exact same team. Like they've got where's the
Sorry, I just Shay drinking water and I'm sat with them.
8 out of their 26 players are in their 30s and only 2 are under 21. Matt O'Reilly, I can't believe Matt O'Reilly never got picked. All I've been hearing is about how good this Danish kid that's born in London has been for Celtic. And then their manager just keeps picking the same players he's been picking for the past 5 years.
Sure you're not a Danish kid born in London?
I'd have to check my ancestry.
But no, yeah, let's see that's the thing, isn't it? Whereas we spoke about some of the other squads that have got that youth and age, whereas Denmark are just hoping that Reliable is going to drag them through it.
And yet their main reliable is a 21-year-old from Manchester United who scored 7 goals in the qualifier.
Yeah, good player.
Yeah, he's not bad. It's a shame he just plays for the team, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna have to have a good tournament if they're gonna do well. I mean, I know Ericsson's still their playmaker, and I've seen a lot of him recently, and he just looks gone. You know, his legs
Yeah.
are gone. I mean,
And
he
Højbjerg
died, didn't he? He literally died.
Did he score the other week at the stadium where that happened, or did
Yeah,
they?
to beat Sweden. Yeah. Was it the last Euros that happened with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they went on to get to the semis.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, of course, yeah.
They were flying, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he just looks. I mean, maybe he's got a couple of weeks in him where he can turn it back on, but he looks really, really gone this season, especially.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see Denmark because I think they still have that kind of camaraderie from being the team when like you almost lose one of your best teammates. You kind of keep that momentum going, and it'd be interesting to see if they have that. And of course, they've got Andreas Christensen, who's been great at Barcelona since going there. So it'd be interesting to see if he can kind of step up and become like the leader that he was kind of predicted to be when he was like 18, 17 years old.
I always think with a lot of like the Baltic nations kind of thing, that I think their teams, they don't suffer from any form of like the rivalries within the team that like the tribalism of like English football can bring about. They don't seem to suffer from that. And even though their top players play abroad, like Christensen and Ericsson, when they're back in that national setup, I think like they just all gel so fast. I mean, it seems like that from the outside, and I think that you've seen that obviously with the Ericsson thing at the last Euros, and I think it benefits them that you just the same as like even when you watch like Sweden and teams like that, they just seem such a unit. Whereas where we're always talking about like the manager's got to get them to gel when you've got like Liverpool, City, United players in the same squad. I think it's less of a problem now. But I think it's definitely really been a problem for them. I mean, if there's any Danes or Swedes listening that think that disagree and get involved, but it seems that way from the outside.
Yeah, well, from a very harmonious group, I think Serbia might be the antithesis of that because they've got so many attackers, so many great players, and they're all just kind of sandwiching them in to this squad, trying to get them all to a starting 11. I mean, just listen to this fucking list of players. Milinkovic Savic, Felipe Kostic, Alexander Mitrovic, Dusan Vlahovic, and Luka Jovic. How are they all going to play up front at the same time? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And they play a back three when they've got no one that can really play that wide centre-back role. So I think they're going to be very difficult to deal with defensively. But I think a team like England is just going to fucking destroy them at the back, I reckon. I'd be very surprised if Serbia were able to stop the English attack.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, we shouldn't be having too many problems there, should we?
If we don't get out of the group, it'll be tragic.
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't think there's any easy groups in the Euros, but I think we've definitely got one of the easier.
Yeah, we've got a fortunate draw for sure. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
How have you got that? That's shaping up, Ollie.
I've got England topping it. I don't think that's much of a surprise. I'd be surprised if any of you didn't have that. Then I got Denmark. Then I got Serbia. Then Slovenia. Slovenia, I just really don't expect much from them.
Yeah, I've got the same order.
Bang on. Yeah, same. Yeah.
But,
Group D is France, who I think are going to win it.
I've actually got France going out.
I think they're going to top the group, win the whole tournament. I just think that the quality they've got all over the park is brilliant. You've got players who they've been winning things from a young age, and they're just continuing to win things. You've got players at the top of the game. Mbappe, obviously, is just signing for Real Madrid, which I think for France going forward will be massive because you've got like 4 or 5 of your best players all at the same club. Camavinga, Mendy, like Theo Hernandez, Saliba, like they're all flying. I think everywhere you look in that French squad is just a world beater. I can't see them losing. I think the last Euros on the way into it, I remember doing a podcast actually, and I remember saying that France, I thought were gonna be my biggest flops, and that was simply because they just reintroduced Benzema to the team, after like 6 years out, and I think him coming in would sort of upset the balance a little bit, and it didn't massively. And then obviously the last World Cup he was injured, but now he's not in the picture because he's in Saudi. But I think there's no, like, back then there was some levels of doubts, there was things you could pick up on, there was critiques. Now they just look like the full package for me. It seems to be new players. It's mad. Like the quality they've got are all like 23, 24, but below them, there's even younger lads coming through. Like even, I don't know if he's going to start, but even like Canate for Liverpool is gone.
I think he's going to start because I don't see what other French centre-backs they've really got.
I
think that's their main weak spot really there, isn't it? The French, because I mean, we've got Badiashile, Fofana, and Disasi. Disasi might, I don't think he's even been selected, I'm not going to lie. I think they've got Upamecano and Canate as their back two, which doesn't fill me with a lot of hope. But
I'd take him as our back two.
We've got Lewis.
You take Upamecano over John Stones?
No, I'd keep John Stones.
No. But you take one of them. Dunk.
I'd take either to replace Dunk.
Yeah. I don't know. Upamecano is on his arse.
Me though, they just look quality. I can't. I think if France, as much as England are pipped as massively as favourites, I think if France don't win it, that would be an underachievement. I think France have got to be looking to win it.
Yeah, I think that if Mbappe doesn't win it, he'll be very frustrated.
I think with Mbappe as well, the whole Madrid thing, I think it's almost like going to make him go. It seems like the character that's going to go, all right, I'm going to show you what I'm all about. Yeah. Every tournament, it seems to turn up.
And, when you put it on, it's just...
Yeah.
You saw in the World Cup final, it's just ridiculous.
I know. And like you said, the whole Benzema thing, I think it did sort of affect... I don't think he even fell out with anyone particularly, but I think there was almost this thing of like, what's our vocal point? Whereas now it's so obviously it's Mbappe, even though they've got loads of great players. But he's the main man, and they've got, Griezmann, Dembele, all supplying him.
Even those other players, that like the likes of Griezmann, Giroud, even the ones that are getting on a bit, the way they play complements their best players. Like, if you play Giroud or you play Griezmann, they can score goals and they can score really, really good goals. But they'll also enable Mbappe, Dembele. That's just what they're good at.
Is Giroud going?
Yeah, Giroud's in the squad.
Shitting out, man.
And when you look at, I was looking at an interview actually because the Netherlands are in their group. Van Dijk got asked, what striker has been one of the most frustrating to play against, and he said obviously there's the obvious answers, your Messi's, etc. But he said Olivier Giroud. Like he said, going into games, Van Dijk would think there's no way he's going to score past me, but the goals that he would score would always be amazing. Yeah. And I know we always make that joke about like Giroud can show his grandkids a compilation of his goals and convince them he was the best player in the world. But I think Giroud's brilliant, and I think he's probably not going to get many appearances across this tournament. But just that type of play, even Griezmann, I think similar. He was the top goal scorer in Euro 2016, and now he's still in that squad in a different role. He's not your focal point. Yeah. He's not there to bang you 12 goals through the tournament. He's still capable of that, I think, but he'll enable Mbappe to do his thing.
He was going into centre mid, mate. He was doing a Joe Linton.
Yeah, he was listed as watching it.
Yeah. Watching it. But you know what? I really like the Netherlands. I think they're going to be a fucking serious threat. Xavi Simons up front, and you got Van Dijk at the back. Mate, that Dutch team looks. And they just destroyed like 4-1 last week. That was impressive.
Oh yeah, I can't remember, but it feels like it's been a while since we had like a good Dutch team, and I'm not convinced that they're that good, but I'd like them to go far. For some reason, I've got a weird soft spot for Netherlands. I was trying
to find the Netherlands shirt just then, but I don't know where it is.
We've all two out of three of us have got our lovely Dutch baldy now, haven't we? So
exactly, yeah.
So a little soft spot for them, but.
What, you guys going bald?
What?
So you got a Dutch baldy. Is that a bald spot? What's that?
It's our
What? Oh, shit.
It's a new hairstyle, mate, up in the north.
Monk style, yeah.
That's it. For me, I think, as you said, like the Netherlands always seem to got quality players, but underachieve. And I think there's an element of like, because they've usually got a domestic manager as well. And I think, for me, when Ten Hag first went to Man United, I know we'll speak about club football next week more, but I think there's a bit of like tactical naiveness within Dutch football that everyone just wants to play. Maybe less so now, people are coming out of it, but it's still like Cruyff total football, and that's all the Netherlands do, is just we play total football.
But they got Ronald Koeman as their manager.
Yeah, and this is it. He is like the epitome of total football. Like, that's what Koeman does, and I think they've got players that are playing systems that are more complex and better at other things that they don't necessarily utilize. So, like you've said, like Xavi Simons, Van Dijk, I think they don't hit the same levels as they're capable of when they're playing for the Netherlands.
No, but it'd be interesting. I just hope if they can click, if they can get the young putting on balls to Frimpong, who's just running down the right wing, and then you got Wout Weghorst just being a fucking menace, Depay running around him, and Xavi Simons. I don't know. I think this team could be exciting if they can get.
Is he still a Burnley player? By the way?
Oh, I think he's gone now. Where is he though?
Is he in Turkey?
I think he's in Turkey. Yeah, he's at Besiktas or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that point you were saying there about they've always got like a natural sort of arrogance to them, haven't they? Not wanting to be derogatory to a whole nation, but they have got like.
Wouldn't be very English at all.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it does make them great players though, like because they're only a tiny country really, but it sort of helps them become great players. But also, I think it sort of hinders the managers a bit because they're sort of reluctant to admit that they're wrong ever. But yeah, that's my thought.
So yeah, that's Shay just hates the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I've got that group though as France to top it, Netherlands to come runners up, and Austria and Poland. I was really torn between the two, but on form, going into the tournament, Austria looked really strong. So I've got Austria to just pit Poland.
I think Poland are always shit in tournaments as well. I don't know if that's
you always look at them and you've got 2 or 3 great players, and you think, "Oh, Lewandowski." But
I don't know. I've got some inside knowledge. So I've got Austria in the sweepstake at work. So they're going to come dead last of their group. So
I thought you were going to say like your mates with Matty Cash.
I've got Ralph Ragnick on speed dial, and he's fucking flipping it. So.
I forgot he's their manager, isn't he? Yeah. Just on the total side note, do you reckon he actually turned down the buying job? Is that true? Do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't think he turned down that job. I thought he said he's not a manager, so he doesn't want to be a manager, and now he doesn't managing to be
a first team manager for every week of the season. I think he likes to just sit in his analyst room, doesn't he? And I mean, that was gonna be his job at United, wasn't it? But
yeah. No, yeah. It's just I thought that was the weirdest story of the season that they went for him and he turned them down. But
yeah, that Bayern seem pretty odd right now.
Yeah. But Group E is an interesting one, I think. Shay, you've had a look at this, haven't you?
Yeah.
Belgium are a strange team.
They are, and I've just got this feeling about Belgium that obviously they've had this golden generation for a few years now, and players are starting to drop out of it. But I just feel like, there's a bit of pressure off him. No one's really thinking about him. They've still got arguably the best midfielder in the world. We know Lukaku can turn it on if he wants to. I just feel like there could be an opportunity here for them with a bit of pressure off the shoulders to actually have a brilliant tournament and maybe do something. But
Belgium just always seem to be just arguing with each other the entire time. They just don't seem to get on, that group of players at all. Like, who was it last World Cup? Was it De Bruyne that said, "We're just not winners. We're just not going to win anything"?
Like, yeah. He came out, didn't he? Yeah. And obviously the manager's fallen out with Courtois, so Courtois not gone.
Yeah, which probably isn't a bad thing considering.
Yeah, because I think he had a few issues with De Bruyne. I've heard a few rumours. Don't want to go into that really, but.
We're not scandalous.
No. But I've got this down. I know we touched on England's groups quite easy, but I think for Belgium especially, this is quite an easy group for them. Obviously, there's banana skins in there, but
I don't know. I think Mudryk could have a fucking good year.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at Ukraine's team, and I was like, God, I actually know quite a few more than I thought I would. Like they have got quite a few. Obviously, the Real Madrid's keeper who stepped in for Courtois, funny enough, is their keeper, Lunin. So, yeah, I've got them coming second because I think they do have a lot of good players in there.
I know they all really revere Mudryk and what he's capable of, and I think if they feed into that, and if he really like turns up like he was doing at Shakhtar, like he does every now and then when we play like an Arsenal or a Liverpool, if he can turn into that guy, and which he does for Ukraine a lot of the time in qualifiers, he was their main man. I think he could have a really good tournament, especially with the way international football is played, where if you've got a bit of pace, you're beating 9 out of 10 defenders.
Yeah. No, I think he could feed off being sort of like the main man, like you said. Like at Chelsea, obviously Palmer's sort of stepped into that role, but
there's a lot of cooks at Chelsea.
Yeah, there's a lot of players in that attacking position, but it could be interesting. Maybe he could finally show us what he's all about.
He's got talent. Like you can see it when you watch him. He's a very talented player. It's just whether he can actually put one foot in front of the other and play a game. I think the Premier League, I think he will reach the Prem level, but I think the Euros, international football, is a lot more where he can shine.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then the last two teams have got Romania and Slovakia. I'm not going to lie. I've not got a lot to say about them. I know they both had good defensive records in qualifying. I know Slovakia, I think they only got beat by Portugal 1-0 or something, and then 3-2 in the reverse game. So, they're no pushovers. But, I can see there being a complete lack of goals in this group, to be honest. I think this might be the least entertaining group, especially when Belgium are playing.
It's odd considering that's probably the least entertaining group, yet you two are beefing over it in the group chat, both trying to get it. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, and I must admit when we just divvied these groups out, and then I looked after my groups, I was like, oh god, it's two boring groups. But anyway, on to the next one.
Well, how have you actually got that lines up, Shay? Sorry.
Sorry, yeah. I'll tell you now. Obviously, Belgium, I've had topping it, then followed by Ukraine, then I've had Slovakia, and then Romania bottom.
I've done the same.
I've gone Belgium. I've actually put Slovakia to go through in second, then Ukraine and Romania. I think Slovakia. I don't want to jump in as the Slovakia expert by any means, but I think they have got a couple of decent players that play at a high level, and when you look at their form records, again, it's quite impressive. They've got like Skriniar from PSG, Dubravka is the goalkeeper. There's a lad from Napoli that when they won the league was really impressive. I think they're decent. I don't think they're going to do anything special, but I think Ukraine, like Ollie said, it's ifs. If certain players bring it to the table, but yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Portugal are a tip to potentially go quite far. Once again, they do look good. Shay, what have you got for them, mate?
So they basically qualified. I missed this, but they qualified with a perfect record. The only team to win 10 out of 10. Which I think England did. What's that?
Ronaldo was their top scorer in qualifiers.
Yeah, he was. And I think England did that 10 out of 10 and then was rubbish in the tournament, so I don't think it means a lot, but I mean, they've got a fantastic team, haven't they? I mean, just right through the starting 11. The only thing I'm thinking for them is I think they've got a big elephant in the room with Ronaldo, and if he's the first couple of games it's not going right, because Roberto Martinez, the manager now, is he going to drop him to maybe play Jota?
Is he starting from the off? Definitely.
Oh yeah, I would be amazed if he doesn't start. I really will. I think.
What about Martinez, man? He's known for playing these old players that are a bit past it. So
yeah, I just think it almost becomes political with him. It's like if you leave him out, it's just a big deal, and it's almost like I'd rather not have the headache. But I think they have the team to win it, but it really depends on if Ronaldo can still do it. I don't know if he can.
I think if as you say, if they do have the ball to drop them, Portugal have definitely got play. Like Jota's there. Diogo Jota will always score goals. That's what that's his thing. And it must be so frustrating for their forward line, thinking like, hang on, I'm playing at a far higher level than him now, but he's always going to play because he's Ronaldo.
Yeah, but he is Ronaldo, though.
Yeah.
I spent too many years doubting Ronaldo to doubt him now. Even when he's like almost 40, playing in Saudi, if he wants to turn it on, he is capable of jumping higher than fucking half the fucking players going to the Euros. He's capable of just banging it in. Like, I know he's old and he's past it, but
I mean, that's it. I don't know if he's
Ronaldo. You know,
it's so hard to. When we spoke earlier about the Saudi league, I think we've all got this automatic assumption that the level there is low, and I mean, comparatively, it definitely is compared to like the Prem. But trying to gauge the actual level of that league, I think, is really difficult. Like, and it surprised me when Ronaldo it's Al Nassr, isn't it? Played into Miami in a friendly, and it was like the Ronaldo Messi game, and Al Nassr won 5-0, and this Inter Miami team has like the old guard at Barca and stuff. And I was like,
that game though.
No, that's it. Messi and Ronaldo didn't end up playing against each other, but for me, I always had. I think maybe it's just for familiarity and how long it's been around. The MLS is being better, like a higher tier.
MLS is, but I think there's better teams in Saudi than in America, because obviously they spend all this money to bring them in. I mean,
trying to actually gauge that level of Saudi, and maybe it isn't actually as much as a retirement home as we think it is. And as you said, Ronaldo might.
100%. What you're on about? They have like 3 good teams. They've got Al Ittihad, Al Hilal, and Al Nassr. The rest of the teams are fucking. I mean, come on, they're not good.
So this is it. So has Ronaldo had a holiday for most of the season, or is he still in? You know, is he still playing in competitively?
Ronaldo doesn't take breaks. Whether or not he's playing at a high level, he's still in the gym every day. He's still definitely the first one there and the last one to go. He's still. Football is all he fucking does, apart from going to boxing matches.
I think it matters so much, though, the level you're playing. I think it's the not playing yourself, not being surrounded by other players of the same pedigree or similar pedigree, capable of better things. I think is massive. I think if you're a top player in a crap league, your ceiling is lower than it is if you're in a far.
Yeah,
obviously,
what if you're Ronaldo?
Well, that's it, isn't it? He's a freak. So,
and when you got Bernardo Silva assisting you, I mean, you're still Ronaldo. I think Portugal are probably better without him in their starting 11. I think they could probably do a better 90 minutes. But I think if you've got Ronaldo, then you have to play Ronaldo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think he's got the respect to start at least the first 2 games. If it doesn't go well, then I can see it falling apart because I don't think he's going to get dropped. I'll be amazed if he drops him, but I guess we'll see. So obviously Turkey are in that group as well. Just looking at their midfield, I think they've got a really, really strong midfield.
Little Arda Güler.
Yeah, just good players in there, and who else? Czechia. Obviously they did quite well at the last Euros. They're in England's group, weren't they? I think beat Scotland. What's he called? Stick, I want to say the striker.
Patrick
Stick. Yeah. He was top scorer, wasn't he? A joint top scorer with who do I want to say? Don't know, but he was joint top.
He had loads of people sniffing around, didn't he? After the tournament, there was loads of
Did he go anywhere?
I have no idea.
But yeah, apparently because they were a bit of a sort of counter-attacking, free-flowing side at that Euros, but they've been a lot more defensively stable since then.
Oh boys, you never guess who shit plays for?
Go on.
Bayer Leverkusen.
No way.
Oh, this is where he's had a fantastic season. He's been a core part of Xabi Alonso's unbeatables and invincibles even, and we're all sat here going, no idea.
No way. Has he been starting for them?
Nah, Boniface starts, but he's played quite a few games though, shit.
Fair dues. No, he's a good player. I was just saying how good he was actually. But yeah. And then Georgia make up that group. Obviously, they're star man, which I've actually got. I've got it spelled out so I can try and say it right.
Come on, let's hear you say this.
Kvaratskhelia.
Nah, no way you said
We're
that.
not having that. We're not having it.
Kvaratskhelia, isn't it? Kvaratskhelia?
I think it's just that Georgian guy. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Well, we all know who we mean. Obviously, he's the main man. A lot's going to depend if he can drag him through games, score a few goals.
Actually, have had a poor season though compared to last year. Like they've not really hit so heights at all.
He didn't score for like months, did he?
Georgia could get a bit slapped up here, I think.
Yeah, I think they play. Apparently, they play with wing backs who are basically wingers who have converted. So that's a big weakness.
I think Georgia and Romania are probably the two weakest sides in this tournament.
Yeah. But so I've got that finishing: Portugal, Turkey, Czechia, Georgia. That's my finishing.
I think I've done the same. No, I've got Czech. I've got Turkey.
Have you?
Yeah, I do.
You've got Czech Republic.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I've got Czech and Turkey.
Yeah, do you know what? I can see that. I think that's a bit of a toss-up, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is, but I think Czech just have more high-level experience in their team.
I think that group's third place is going through anyway.
Yeah.
You'd imagine so, because you'd imagine everyone's getting 3 points off Georgia.
Yeah, definitely.
Lads, as we approach the hour mark, should we just go through what we reckon for the knockouts, just so we've got to paint a picture of what we all reckon this is going to shape up as, and then
I think we can go done similar brackets so far, so we might have.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it got depending on who we've put as our best place, third place finishes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true say. But we've all got Spain starting the first round of 16 though.
Yeah. I've got Hungary. I've
got Scotland playing Spain.
Oh, I can't tell you what I've got, lad. Sorry.
A European country.
Is your light even on? Because I can see it's on, but you're dark.
No, I've had to. I was using my phone as a torch, and I've had to.
Oh, right.
Hang on. Right, yeah. Sorry, where were we? The first one, yeah, Spain. I've got Spain, Switzerland. Is that right?
I reckon we're gonna. Should we just all just whiz through then? Because we're all different already now.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, should we just say who we got in the quarters?
Yeah,
do that. Yeah.
So I've got Spain, Germany.
Yeah.
Portugal, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Belgium, France.
Yeah.
England, Croatia.
I've got England, Hungary.
Oh shit. Matt, did you diverge a little bit there?
I'm just sorry, mine's moved. Just circle back, lads. Circle back.
Right. This is
Right, so I've got Croatia beating Hungary. You got Hungary beating Croatia? Or...
Yeah, I fancy it being a bit different, and I just feel like Hungary are my outside shout to.
Mate.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think if Croatia can't match like the energy of the youthful Hungary team, then we can definitely see that. Because Hungary have also got Milos Kerkez from the Bournemouth, who's very aggressive, very up and down that left-hand side. I actually read something earlier where he's a bit too aggressive because he actually got sent off in a game when they needed a draw to qualify for the Euros, and they were 1-0 when he got sent off. And Dominic Szoboszlai told the press that they told Milo not to be stupid in 3 different languages, and he still got fucking sent off. So
I've sorted mine. I've got.
Because that was a great anecdote to kill that time there, Ollie.
That was actually brilliant, fantastic. Journalism student extraordinaire, Oliver Nolan Davis. So I've got quarterfinals. I've got Spain and Germany, Portugal, Netherlands, Croatia, France, and England, Italy.
Oh, okay.
Out of them, I've got Spain to go through with Germany, Portugal to beat the Netherlands, France to beat Croatia, and England to beat.
Whoa, chill out, man. Yeah. I've got Spain to beat Germany too.
Well, I've got Germany to beat Spain.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I can see that. To be fair, I do think that German attack is scary with Wirtz and Musiala.
I think you can't.
Quality, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, yeah, he's brilliant. You can't underestimate a home tournament. I think it always comes into play.
You know what? When I went through this, that didn't even occur to me. Yeah, it's in Germany.
Well, I
Yeah,
know a lot of Germans have kind of lost a lot of faith in the national team. I think it is coming back slowly now. But the World Cup in Qatar, I mean, none of them even bloody watched it because they were all against it being in Qatar.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they've ever really caught that same speed as they had in 2014. They've just not really gotten behind the national team. I know when it got announced that it was in Germany, a lot of them are quite annoyed because of the state of German football and also their transport links, which they're also mad at as well. So it'll be interesting to see how much the German, I'm sure they will be, because once the football starts, it's a bit different, but it'd be interesting to see how much support they actually receive in Germany.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a good point.
I think as well when the home nation is bang in the middle of Central Europe, not to say that you lose that home advantage, but particularly loads of the other Central European countries are going to have massive traveling contingents, so they're not going to be tiny pockets of away fans. Everyone's going to be really well represented.
Yeah.
Well, they got to get past the Scottish first. Have you seen the Iron Brew advert for the Euros?
It's really good. Yeah,
I've not seen it yet. I'll have to check that out.
It's the German fella saying,
Scottish Mannschaft.
I hope your Mannschaft does well, because Mannschaft is obviously a football team.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's the Scottish fella talking about his Mannschaft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get the vibe, yeah.
Yeah, short on. I know what's underneath it, though. Probably anyway.
Who've we got getting to the final then?
My final is Spain.
Well, have we done
France.
semi-finals?
Yeah, we've done them, haven't we? That was what we just
I
did.
haven't done my semi-finals.
Oh, go on.
Well, my semi-finals are an Iberian derby. Is that what it's called? Spain and Portugal, then
I had
England
Portugal losing to the Netherlands.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see that as well. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got? Spain, Netherlands.
Spain, Netherlands in one semi-final, and my other semi-final was France, England.
Yeah, that's my other semi. That's
We've
where
all got France, England, haven't we? Yeah.
Has anyone backed England?
No, I think that's where the game's up.
No, I haven't either.
So I've got in the final. I've got Germany, France final. Maybe I've put a lot in this home advantage, obviously, but I just think
it's not bad. Like you can definitely see that happening.
Yeah. Well,
the French Netherlands derby.
Oh, Netherlands all the way to the final.
I've got Netherlands winning the whole fucking thing, mate.
Have you?
I just feel like it can. I feel like they're due a major trophy. I think Virgil van Dijk is probably his last international tournament. He might make it to the World Cup, but we'll see. I think with him, with Ake, with Gravenberch, if he can do the legwork, and then you got Xavi Simons, who are I'm a big fan of Xavi Simons, and then you've got Depay as well, man. And Frimpong in the form he's in. I just like this Netherlands team a lot, man. I think they're going to do well.
I think that's fucking outrageous.
It's probably outrageous.
I think our reactions were quite tame. So you've got them to beat France in the final just because Xavi Simons.
Well, I think it was also just because I didn't want to press France.
I didn't tell you, I didn't call it out at the time. The fact that you tried to sneak Memphis Depay's name in players there, by the way.
Hey, Memphis Depay, mate. He's got a dragon on his back.
Yeah. I have got Germany beating France in my final, which it isn't as outrageous as I thought it was.
I think the French arrogance might be their ruining. I don't think they see much of a threat of other teams.
But, no, I've got France to clean up against Spain. I think Spain will have a really good tournament. There'll be a lot of standout players. I think it will be quality to see some of the young lads do really well. But I just think France have got too much. And I think France have also got plan B and plan C. What we should do is we'll share each of our brackets on the Slam page, and we'll circle around to this and see if Ollie's outrageous shout turns out to be bang on or not.
Mate, I'll be in a bright orange bucket hat singing Bob Marley. Don't worry about me.
Again, what is that about? Why do Ajax sing Bob Marley? Why do they have a Jamaican?
They have very similar herbal preferences.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I suppose.
Is that actually the connection? Is that it?
I think Bob Marley is a big fan of Amsterdam. Basically, is the connection,
yeah.
I think was there a concert or something?
He just loved Amsterdam. I think
because of the architecture.
He did lots of stuff over there. I don't know why he loved Amsterdam so much.
Weird.
He's a huge fan of football.
Yeah.
I believe he is actually.
I think he's banging to footy. Yeah.
It was probably the Cruyff connection.
Yeah. Go on, just to finish it off, who've we got as top scorer? Just off the top of your head.
Oh,
Killy.
Yeah.
I think it has to be on it.
I think Mbappe.
Player of the tournament.
Player of the tournament. Xavi Simons.
Yeah. I'm going to say Musiala because I've got Germany to win it, so I feel like it'd have to have a good tournament.
I can see that. I'm gonna go Bellingham. I think.
Yeah, I like Bellingham. But I just don't like England team. The England team.
I like this England flag. This England flag, by the way, has not been put up for the Euros. This is a mainstay of, and again for further. I don't have a mad living room, by the way. This is the bar in the back garden, but no, I as much as this is hanging from the rafters, I don't think they're going it. But yeah, Bellingham, I think depending on how far England go, Bellingham the tournament.
Yeah, I think he also could be in a shout with top scorer if Harry Kane starts dropping deep, which he has been doing, what he's known to do.
Yeah, it's not a way show.
I can see Jude being a real threat. I think we are underplaying England's ability to win this tournament. To be fair, because none of us are really backing England, but we definitely have it. We're one of the better teams in this bracket, and I think England can go. It
surprised me that between all of us, none of us have them to lose in the final.
Yeah.
I think I could see that being a really realistic outcome.
Yeah.
I think it's just who we meet in the semis, really.
Yeah, if we'd done this before the Iceland game, whether we'd all be completely different, I don't know.
Before the final selection, maybe.
Definitely, yeah. Before that squad selection was confirmed, I think, it didn't look like. I mean, I feel really bad because I feel like we're all slating him, but I was just not comfortable with Lewis Dunk sat at centre half.
I think Lewis Dunk could prove a few people wrong.
I think there's
I've always rated him.
The management choice. Southgate might have played a blinder and thought that if he's got to pick it off, if all of his options were pretty sort of level in his eyes, and he's backed Dunk, knowing that this would be the reaction, Lewis Dunk is going to run through brick walls for him. Lewis Dunk is going to do everything in his power to repay that faith.
You never know; it might have been a slam dunk decision.
And this is the Slam podcast. That was it. We wrote that before we went on it now.
Yeah, I wrote that about a week ago when I saw he got selected.
I feel like we've covered all bases there. We've thrown the predictions out. We could all be massively miles off, or we could be bang on, and that could prove that the Slam is an extremely valuable source of talking shite. So we'll revisit it after the tournament, and we'll have a look at the season to come as well, and what we think. Hopefully, there's some big transfers being made and things by then as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. And if England do win, you will notice that this video has been deleted off of YouTube. Yeah. But that has got nothing to do with it. We just wanted to replace it with one where we always backed our country.
This was put up just for the tournament. But no, lads, it's been great having you back, Ollie. I'm glad we found a way to do this again with you being in Narnia or wherever you live.
It's called Portsmouth, but you know what? That's close enough, mate. Oh, if you want to hear a joke?
Oh, God.
Why did the kid sit in his wardrobe to read a book?
I don't know.
Narnia business.
Oh,
God.
When we look at the analytics in a couple of weeks, there's going to be a massive drop off where people just left.
Oh, this dropped off as soon as I said slam dunk decision, mate. Don't worry about it.
That's getting clipped for the old TikTok, by the way.
Jesus.
Right, lads, been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Probably see you
Well,
Everyone else will see you soon. Nice one.
See you later.